Since my San Andreas video got so many views, I decided to make another one. If you have ever had internet in your life, then you have probably heard this sentence before.
All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
And if you didn't actually hear this sentence before, then where the hell have you been these past few years? Even if you haven't played the game, this sentence has been all over the fucking internet. So, have you been living under a rock or what? Anyway, this video has to do with the mission where this sentence is from. Wrong side of the tracks. When you start this mission, you see these corrupt cops, Tenpenny and Pulaski, leaving Big Smoke's house. And then Smoke randomly tells them they have to go to the Unity station. When they arrive, Smoke explains that the Vagos and the San Fierro Riva are cutting some kind of deal, and he intends to crash the meeting. However, it's actually an ambush and the Vagos attempt to escape by train. And then the entire mission is basically you driving next to the train and Big Smoke missing 90% of his shots. Now, this mission is notorious for being incredibly annoying. Because Big Smoke misses so many shots, when I played this mission as a kid and even when I played this mission right now, I failed this mission a bunch of times and it wasn't even my fault, it's just Big Smoke being blind. And when I played this mission for my recent GTA video, I got the idea for this video. How can you actually make this mission easier? In how many ways can you beat this mission without banking on Smoke's aim RNG? And I don't mean the speedrun stretch such as this one where you jump off the bridge onto the train, or this one where you do an incredibly funny stunt onto the train with the motorcycle and such. But I'm gonna be testing a couple of cheats and just testing how this mission actually works. So my first idea was using Mega Punch. Whenever you hit someone, they instantly die. Before even attempting my first try, I already made my first mistake. Because I punched Big Smoke into oblivion.
Hey! All we had to do was follow the damn train, CJ.
After a fast restart, however, I was actually able to get on the train. I started punching them one by one, and they all died one by one. And I'm not gonna lie, I thought this wasn't going to work, but for some reason it did. So yeah, somehow this was a success, and I did not expect this to work at all. Now that I had figured out punching worked, I was gonna try out something completely different. Instead of punching, I wanted to see if explosive damage did anything to them, and thus I spawned in a helicopter with a bunch of rockets. And all these attempts really did was prove how bad of a pilot I am in video games. On my first attempt I didn't even hit a single shot, and then I realized I can't fly and I managed to somehow kill myself in the process.
All we had to do was follow the...
My second attempt wasn't any better. I didn't actually hit any bullet and then I landed on them by accident because I can't fly. But somehow I killed 3 of them in the process. This didn't actually prove anything, however, since I still hadn't hit a single rocket. But I ended up flying head first into the tunnel entrance and I had to reset. On my third try I finally proved that I wasn't completely incapable of mastering simple controls and I actually got a bunch of shots in. However, these Vagos seemed completely immune to rockets and then the game decided it was time to randomly explode my helicopter. I have no idea how this even happened. So to sum this circus up, no, rockets don't work against Vagos. But I wasn't convinced enough yet. I figured bazooka rockets were completely different than helicopter rockets, and thus this was the thing I was going to try next. Because I suck at video games, however, this took me a long ass time to get done. The fails went from standing on the train, catching up on my own bazooka shot and damaging myself to very low HP, to completely missing them when I tried to shoot them from the side of the train, to completely missing them, shooting myself and falling off a bridge, to parking the bike too close to the edge and falling off once again. But then, at some point I finally was able to hit them, and I noticed the same thing as I did with the helicopter shots. They are completely immune to rocket damage. After yet another fail, I decided it still wasn't enough. Rocket damage might be explosive damage, but is it the same as satchel damage? Once again, for some reason this was completely impossible to get done. I mean, just look at this footage. I finally have them all satcheled up, and then I pressed the fucking detonation button while standing next to them. And I just killed myself. That's the amount of stupidity I possess. Anyway, after headbutting the bridge a bunch of times because I was too slow, or missing the train jump, I decided it was better to play it safe and just put a satchel on one of them only. I ran towards the back of the train and exploded it. And once again, he was explosion proof. I was kind of disappointed, but not really surprised, because I feel like in this game, explosion damage means explosion damage, and I don't think it really matters if it's a helicopter, a bazooka, or a satchel. After I was convinced explosion damage didn't do the trick, I remembered I squished them with my helicopter earlier, and I decided to just experiment further with that. I drove on top of the tunnel entrance, making sure I was way earlier than the train, and then my plan was to drop a Trashmaster on them. After failing my first 2 attempts because I was too far in front of the train, I finally got what I wanted. I pre-jacked spawning the Trashmaster hard, but the train completely ran into the Trashmaster, and the Trashmaster was actually able to squish one to death. But I knew more was possible. I knew it was very possible to squish them all with one Trashmaster. But timing this right wasn't the easiest thing, okay? It's very easy to look the wrong way and spawn it in the wrong spot, or to pre-jack it and you kill nobody, or you're way too late and it actually does nothing and you're wasting another couple of minutes. But there were 2 more attempts worth mentioning. In the first attempt worth mentioning, I actually spawned it in a little too early. Once again, the train completely ran into the Trashmaster, and for some reason the first 2 were able to dodge it, and the final one died. How did this happen? I have no idea. But once again, I only killed 1 person, and this wasn't satisfying enough for me. Then, on my final attempt, I had the perfect spawn in my opinion. I spawned in the Trashmaster, and I couldn't immediately see how many I killed. When I drove up to the train, however, I noticed the first one died and the last one died, and somehow the Trashmaster just went completely over the middle one's head. Like, how? How does this happen? You're in the tunnel. How does it go over your head, but it does kill the first one and the last one? I don't know. I decided to just leave it at that. It is very possible to kill all 3 of them, but you need a tremendous amount of luck, and I wasn't able to make this happen. But yes, I'd consider this a success. Then, the second to final thing I wanted to try was flying car, which is kind of the same as with the helicopter, but I wanted to see if ramming myself into them was actually gonna do something. Using this flying car actually got me some really strange results. I was able to smack myself into them twice, and both of the times someone actually died. But after killing this 1 person, I went in again, and when I hit them again, nothing happened. They were like a brick wall. Why would they die the first time and then not die the second time? That literally makes no sense. After failing the mission, I tried for a 3rd time, and I once again hit them. This time, however, nobody died, despite doing the same thing as the previous 2 tries. In this same attempt, I was able to hit them again. And this time I actually killed someone by smacking myself into them. After reviewing the footage, I noticed a pattern. Every time I hit them with my flying car, it was the exact same guy that died from it. So I have no idea whether this is true or not, but I feel like this one guy has a different hitbox than the other 2 guys. Because when I rammed myself into the other 2 guys, nothing happened. They didn't move an inch, and this guy died from it every single time. So using a flying car was a fail, but not really, I guess. Then, the final thing I wanted to try, and I mean, we already know the answer to this, but I wanted to try a flying tank. We already know what's going to happen. These guys are immune to explosion damage, and they are not immune to landing on them. But I wanted to do it anyway, because who hasn't played with a flying tank in San Andreas, okay? Besides, when trying this, something really funny happened. On my first try I tried shooting them and nothing happened. And then, before even being able to blink, I somehow got myself stuck on top of the train. While they were in the tunnel. And there I was, just chilling on the train, shooting them, not doing any damage, and then... yeah. How did that even happen? The game just teleported me out of the tank on top of the tunnel. How does that mechanic even work, man? Like, what the fuck? Anyway, I wasn't satisfied enough yet, and I went in again. And somehow I managed to get into the same situation again. I once again landed on top of the train, killing almost 2 of them. And before I knew it, I was once again stuck inside of the tunnel with them. This time, however, I didn't get stuck, and I was able to check how much damage I actually did. I drove to the front of the train and I saw I had killed 1 guy, and the second guy was trying to climb up the train once again, because I kind of squished him, but I kind of didn't. Once he was able to pull himself back on the train, he got back to his spot, and then... just collapsed.
Yahoo! Oh no!
Even though using a flying tank proved nothing different, The footage I got from this is so fucking random that I can't even believe it myself. Anyway, at this point there's not much more I can do. I'm sure there are other ways I could have tried, but most of the cheats available are kind of used already, and most of the cheats would just get the same results as the cheats I've already tried. So to wrap this up, we can conclude that you can land on the Vagos and squish them, you can punch them to death, but they are somehow completely immune to explosion damage. Why did Rockstar do this? I have no idea, but it is what it is, I guess. If you ever want to go to war and drop a nuclear bomb, just drop a bunch of Vagos in there, they won't die anyway. With those words of wisdom, I'm gonna end this video. I hope you got some insights on how to easily beat this mission. Not that you're ever gonna do this, because it's stupid. But still, I proved something, okay? But yeah, that's gonna do it. If you like this video, then definitely leave a like rating. If you liked even more, then definitely hit that subscribe button. And even if this gets 0 views, I'm still gonna make more GTA content, because this is my favorite game ever. So fuck you guys. Peace.
All we had to do was follow the damn.
Shut the fuck up.